Hello, hello, hello. Are we live? Are we good? Is anyone there? Hey, Olaf and Darren. Good to see you guys. Sorry, I will get going in a second. Just trying to fiddle around with this very complicated setup that I've got here. It's highly technical. Four people. Wow. I think people pay good money to have 4 concurrent viewers on a stream. 9! This thing's out of control now. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves just for a second. Hey, Tor. So I can see Kev. Some very rude comments just before I came on air. Simon Gregory, Olaf Bonk, Darren Hunter, Mark Deal, Torana Martinison. Good to see you guys. Right. Just move that over to the side. You don't need to see that. You'd think I'll be a bit better prepared for this, but I'm really... I have no idea what I'm doing. All right, Paul, Stephen, Keith. Keith's not well, sitting there feeling sorry for himself. Sorry to hear that, Keith. Shame you weren't feeling poorly before yesterday's race when you absolutely kicked arse. We'll go into that in a minute. I will just preempt what I'm going to say. I was arguing, actually not publicly, but in my mind, I was arguing for your promotion, Mr. Denton. I don't think you should be a C anyway, if I'm honest. But we can discuss that further. Darren, yet won't be riding. He's hurt his knee. Yep. That one, that old one. Good to see you, Thomas. Ah, Simon, right. That was one of my topics of conversation. Right, okay, I'll just start off with that then. Yeah. I've been called out by Mr. James Bailey from the herd to do a 1v1 on the Bologna TT course. And I think that's a really good idea. Do you remember we did the Brian Roden v Peter Wilson head-to-head to try and settle a draw in one of the previous league races? That got loads of views, loads of interest, and was really good fun to do. So James, having not been able to make the race yesterday, wants to challenge me head-to-head on Bologna TT. So we will get that in place. So, yeah. Although our times, he sent me some of his recent times. I think you average about a minute and a half quicker than me if we look at our last sort of few goes on that course. So it might not be much of a competition, but as you rightly pointed out, you as a dangling carrot might just spur me on to do a little bit better than I would normally do. No worries, Olaf. Got your t-shirts, good man. I'm hoping everybody's got their t-shirts. Bloody hell! I think I'm stopping t-shirts now. That was. I wasn't properly set up for it at the time. It was a bad idea to do it at that point in time because my usual workshop that I use very loosely isn't in existence anymore. So everything was set up here in this bedroom, which obviously also doubles as my Zwift room, now my live recording studio. So it wasn't the best idea to try and do all those t-shirts. And they were, I mean, it's amazing. Thank you guys. The number of orders was mind-blowing, like genuinely. Which is why I'm looking at that kicker bike that you guys have very kindly funded through buying t-shirts. No, it wasn't quite that good, but it was good. It was good. Oh, but actually, do you know what? I totally forgot. Cheers, everybody. This is how we need to start these live vlogs every week. Although this is not good. I'll say that quietly because my son bought me this, but it's not great. But it's the only bottle I've got in the house. Right, There's a few more comments there than I was expecting this early on, so I need to try and filter my way through. Right, so I've done that. Darren, why weren't you there? Asked Olaf, hurt his knee. Hi Simon, hi Stephen, hi Paul, hi Keith. You should have been ill yesterday before the race. Done that. Yep, racing James Bailey. Olaf's got his t-shirts. Come on, I don't have time for this. I don't know if you're just referring to me waffling on. Hi Paul, when's the New York Darren? 2nd of December, I've just seen. I was going to leave you to it. Kenneth, good to see you. Darren Rayfield, Jason Arblaster, good to see you, Jason. I'm going to come on to you in a minute, man. Blown away by you and Darren Smith yesterday. Absolutely blown away. 2 laps in Bologna, not a chance. Nope, Gordon saying 2 laps well. No. John Grenfell, good to see you. Accept, but in 3 years' time. Well, actually, that's a good point, Kev. I have accepted this challenge. What I'd like to do is do it after we finish the league, because as I've mentioned before, the point of this league for me, as much as the fun I have with you guys, it's actually a training regime for the NC 500 and anything else I fancy taking on, like the Brands Hatch 24 hours, all in the sort of summer of next year. So that's what I'm heading towards. Carrots again, yeah. Take his head towel off him, he'll lose all his power. I did wonder what he was hiding under that towel. I don't think I've ever actually seen James's head. Do you have any hair? Do you are there like battery packs in there powering your legs? Right. Tie-dye carrot. I can't read it. Guys, slow down. Whoa. I thought I could talk. Look at you lot. Where is the goldfish? What is he talking about? Kev's clearly drunk. Revolve 24. Yeah, that's the one. 2020. Yes, definitely still on. The last thing I heard about it, which was a bit concerning, I watched one of the Bun and Beard vlogs, and he mentioned that next year's one, they're talking about doing it at Donington instead of Brands Hatch. Donington's all right. Obviously, it's a lot further away from me. A lot of the appeal was the fact it was Brands Hatch for me. Not that I wouldn't do it if they do move it to Donington, but I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that they keep it at Brands Hatch, because that circuit, it's just a nice area. The way it's set in a bowl, and it's just nice. And 20 minutes down the road from me, so I can come home in my off periods. You lot can be racing around. I'll come home for a kip and a drink and a bite to eat and leave you to it. But yes, definitely on. Neat Ribena, yep, absolutely, Paul. Just getting my vitamins in, my antioxidants. Evening, Clampy. Evening, Mr. Arblaster. What's the cat brought in today? The same mouse, I think, is still under the bed. Kept me awake most of last night as well. As I mentioned before, it's not actually the cat. It's not actually the mouse. It's the bloody dog. He's like tip tapping all around the floors. And oh. Darren Smith, good to see you. Sean Lowe, looked like you had fun with Peter today. Or was that today or yesterday on your mountain bikes? I did notice that Peter had his naturally powered mountain bike, and yours had a very suspicious looking wide down tube on your mountain bike, which may have added some artificial assistance, but I'm saying nothing. Good evening, Kenneth. Darren Rayfield. Oh yeah, 24-hour dating yet? No, I've not seen the date yet. Clampy, you're late. Kebab and chips. Actually, do you know what? I was nearly late because I've decided to cook the most complicated dinner for myself and the kids tonight, which took far longer than any human being should take to cook dinner. And I cooked a lot more than I should have eaten, but there was no way I wasn't finishing it. So a little bit of a rush at the end of this. Had to go into the hair and makeup department, as I've already mentioned to Kev. He very kindly pointed out that I needed a fair bit of attention prior to coming on air. So I've been primmed and pruned to within an inch of my life. Yeah, Food of Champions. Good evening, Sean. Aha, that's so funny. I got it out of the loft. Don't forget about your old turbo, mate. Yes, Sean, it is actually at the bottom of my stairs, just out there. You might not want it after you see it, because I remember why I gave up on trying to fix it. I think I have all the parts, but there's a couple of, I'm going to call them transistors. I don't know if that's even a thing, or certainly if that is the right thing, but there's these things that broke off on the inside. I'd previously managed to solder a couple back on, got it working again, but they've broken again, and it's kind of in pieces, but it's yours if you want it, mate. I have got it out. I'll give it a bit of a dust off. Plenty of cobwebs, old spiders, some of my old childhood porno magazines that are stuffed in the loft, I think are stuck to it. I'll peel those off. but it's, you're welcome to it. Right, moving on. I did actually have a topic and a purpose to this, but it looks like I'm just going to be dominated by reading these messages. And oh, actually, one thing I was going to say was there are certain topics that I would rather steer clear of because of what should I say? So previous legal ramifications. There are a couple of topics that have been very prominent in Zwiftlandia recently, and I would rather not mention them. And in actual fact, the fact that I'm mentioning them now was probably a really bad idea because that's probably all I'm going to get questions about in a minute. Right, good evening, Turbo. Yeah, done. Donington is good for me. Only 30. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, yeah. That means I have to come up your way, Jason, up to Brummyland. Don't know about that. Yeah, closer for the Trilks as well. I mean, I will do it. Like I say, I'll still do it, but it wouldn't be my preferred choice. Neil Clamp saying cheat. Who are you calling out as a cheat? Oh God, is this what I've opened up? Donington will give you a break along the straight as it's flat, but that's the only flat part. Yeah. Yeah, I pride myself on WKG not calling out cheats publicly, and Neil Clamp has called. I think you calling me out a cheat because of. Hang on, let me show you why I think Paul might be calling me out as a treat. One of my favourite screenshots of recent years. Let me just see. Is this the one? No. 1 second. This will be a nice little segue into what we're supposed to be talking about anyway. All right, have a look at that, people. You will notice. All right, fair enough. Dirk Gatsby kicked my ass. Joel Walker, 12 seconds. Not happy about that. PJ Daly. I beat PJ Daly. I beat T Kirkhag, who is actually now in the league, but is a B category shown on there. I think I had you in the wrong category. But these are the important ones. Mr. Neil Clamp, 23:33. Now I'm no mathematician, but that sounds like a long time compared to 23:28. Likewise, Andrew Lawrence, same thing, 23:33. I mean, you're close to being relegated, guys. We were going to do some sympathy automatic relegations, and Neil Clamp and Andrew Lawrence, you're flirting with that. Right, no, I didn't cheat. I was motivated by someone that turned out to be the winner in the C category after Paul Trilk's incredible performance that earned him an instant promotion. So firstly, Paul, congratulations, my friend. That was probably the most predictable promotion of all of them, if I'm honest. But brilliant to see nonetheless. Amazing time, 18:30 something I think it was. But I was being chased in the last kilometre of the climb by Darren Smith, who put up a banging performance. Absolutely blinding race. And it was only seeing him in my rearview mirror that meant I was able to sort of dig deeper than I should have done, if I'm perfectly honest. But that, I think, got me that 5 seconds to beat Neil Clamp and Andrew Lawrence. And although this is just a screenshot, so I can't scroll down, Mr. Dwight Williams as well. So a few scalps for me, nice and early on. Okay, right, let's try and go back. Hey, John Grasso's here. Good to see you, John. I hope you're not working still. Caroline Winters is here. Rink's here. Robert Andre Mickelson's here. Right, I think. Oh, and Quan LeQ is here. And can't turn on comments despite commenting that he can't turn on comments. You worked it out, LeQ. Well done. Was it spaghetti bologna? Oh my God, why is this jumping around so much? Oh, what, my dinner? No, it was it was like bacon, onion, and cheese potato skins with a barbecue chicken. All very, pro nouveau cuisine, fine dining kind of stuff. Although fine dining tends to be this big, my portion was this big. But it was good. Hair and makeup, fame going to his head. Yep, I have my entourage awaiting out there. I have the fluffers, whatever else goes with the job these days. Found text, hi Marcus. Hi Mark, good to see you, dude. Any possibility that you zoom in on the chat window on OBS? I'm in full screen and can't really read it. Let me see. If I do that, and then do that. Is that a bit better? Well, I'm cutting the bottom of it off now. Hang on, I'll put this. Yeah, I don't really know how to do this. Hang on, you don't need to see the side bit with my screen again. So, how about something like that? Is that better? Watch out, the mouse might be in your trainer wheel. I wish he was. I could do with the extra watts. Mouse equals, there we go, 0.5 watts. Absolutely right, Simon. Liable. Oh, was that the word I was looking for earlier when I was mentioning subjects I didn't really want to talk about? Yeah, you're probably right. How did I get my Tron bike? It's really easy. You just log into Zwift and ride for ages up and down mountains, and you get your very own Tron. It's incredible. I've heard there are other ways of doing it, but why complicate things? That's not hard. It takes a little while, takes some genuine effort, commitment, determination, and ethics and morals, but it's not a hard thing to do. Ring Visser, why am I running 1 minute behind with Caroline Winters, who is sitting next to me? Because I think this is one race Caroline will always win. And you can get her back in the next league race. Finally in the chat, yeah, good to see you, LaQ. Shauno, hey, nudges here. Rink, women just know stuff before us. This is how. This is also very true. It's that sixth sense. They tend to pick up on these things. Sean in the Z-bike, right. Next race with time difference between the categories. No, I don't think it is. Let me bring up. No, I don't. I've not done any time differences, or I've tried not to. I think the only ones that will have time differences will be the mini crits, just because that's how they're set up anyway. But as you can see there, our next race is bloopers on Sunday, and quickly followed actually by the mini crit. We've got a bit of a quick fire week. So we're doing the big loop. I tried to look up my personal best before this, before coming on, but apparently I've never done it. But I'm absolutely sure I have previously. But that's going to be a different test for everybody. And I'm really glad we did what we did, because doing the promotions based on this time trial seems to have worked really well. I think we've settled things down quite nicely. I think everybody's pretty much where they should be, and I think that course was quite a good test of it. As I mentioned, there are some that I think are going to pick up strikes really early on and made it very tempting to go for automatic promotions, Mr. Denton. I'm picking on you, Keith. Sorry, dude. That was just a brilliant performance. In the same breath, I should be saying that about Darren Smith and Jason Arblaster, but I have seen how well you've been progressing, and it was just a brilliant race. And you know, it happens. I'm not going to be too bitter about it. Right. I'm way behind on the comments. I want some answer. Oh my God, I'm going to have to go back and check where I was. Next race, right, done that. Okay, so Martin, I hope that answers your questions. No difference in categories other than the mini crits. Can I be... Darren's laughing. Can I be relegated? Simon Gregory, can you be relegated? Where are you, Simon Gregory? Let me have a look. If you're in the Ds, no. You're not in the Ds, are you? I will look at these tables and the results properly. That was the... I've actually written notes, look. The notes. Go through the race results. Talk about the promotions and possible relegations. Go through the details of the next stage. Mountain bike and steering on Zwift. What I think of the kicker bike now and how I'm eating my words. See, I had an actual schedule mapped out. Oh, the James Bailey head-to-head race. You lot have thrown me off my path. Simon Gregory, I don't think you can be relegated. I can't find you. I need to know what category you're in. Anyway, no, you can't. Why am I wasting my time looking? No, you cannot be relegated. Let's make that a bit bigger. Neil Clamp and myself had a great sprint. Did you see that? Yes, I did. I saw that on your video, actually, Ring. Brilliant stuff. That's so good to see. Even when you went off at different start times and your paths weren't necessarily going to cross in terms of league points or anything like that. It was a bit like with myself and Darren, as I mentioned. And I had it kind of with Tor Martinison, although he managed to stretch away. But yeah, having someone there in the last few 100 meters, knowing that that person has nothing to do with your result really, and using it as impetus to sprint is brilliant. And yeah, it was really good to see you and Clampy doing it up that climb. Not least because it's nice to see someone else absolutely killing themselves and damaging themselves for the cause. It's usually me that just ends up in a ridiculous mess at the end of this, or so it seems, because I don't usually get to see it. Gordon Jackson, good to see you, dude. Mr. Team TT himself, great to see you, man. Running faster, racing I'm slower. Ah, now there we go then. We need to set up the WKG Zwift Running League. Mrs. Marcus Neal actually bought a treadmill a couple of months ago. It's there, folded up with an old duvet and one of those sort of exercise strip bendy things on top of it, a curtain rail, a couple of pillows, and what looks like one of those bags for life from Morrison's. That's how much use, and it's been there since we got it. But I have the means now, so we can set up a running thing one day, and then the rowing one when it comes out, we're just gonna dominate. Okay, right, Snorreffily, come on, you're way behind in the comments. Want some answers? Answers to what? I haven't seen the question yet, Snor. Right, I'm seeing it now, thanks, Marcus. Oh, good man. I got so much delay, it looks like I have Marcus Neal, his upload. I'm using my 4G, this should be like, compared to normal. Nice watch while eating. Glad to hear it. Cheers, Noel. I can only imagine what you're eating as well. You're a well-kept man in the food department, that's for sure. Hey, Rich Siegler. Right, Rich Siegler. Slap on the wrist time for you. By spelling the word wanker with a C before the K means it comes through in the Zwift chat column. So, to open your conversation with the team on tonight's social ride with, hello you limey wankers. I shouldn't have expected anything else. Anyway, good to see you, dude. Looking good. I assume that means me because of my hair and makeup. Yeah, feeling good. Is Tron Bike so good? Well, all right. I am gonna touch on this subject just briefly. Whether it is or it isn't, as far as I'm concerned, is completely irrelevant to the punishments that were dished out to a certain rider who was a scapegoat for a certain team. These are my personal opinions. I'll expect some backlash. He or they knew exactly what they were doing and felt it was worthwhile, so did it. Whether it would have made any difference or not will always be debatable. In my opinion, the punishment's harsh, but a punishment needed to be served, and it sends out a message, particularly with the, obviously in light of the fact that UCI have signed up with Zwift and it's going to become a big thing. So they need to set a precedent and make an example of someone early on to say no bending of any rules, however relevant you think they are. And I actually don't think the Tron Bike's that great, I'll be honest. I did my TT on a Cervelo R2 with the Millionstein wheels, and considering that's a flat course with a steep climb, so it's pretty much everything you can throw at it, I can't imagine I would have gone anything better on a Tron Bike. So, there we go. Tell us all the... Right, thank you, Darren. Any dates for Brian's 200th hour? I thought he'd done it. See, I thought I'd missed that. I saw some post. It kind of got buried in amongst a load of others, but it said, guess what I've done? And someone had commented, you've done your 200th ride. I hope you've done it, because that's an amazing achievement, Brian, if you have. But I also hope you haven't, because I'd scheduled in. You're far too quick at this. If we look down here, stage 7, Monday, November the 25th, doing the Road to Sky, or the Roden to Sky, as it has been ingeniously named. I was hoping to tie that in with your 200th ride. That was obviously very optimistic, thinking that you wouldn't do the Alp at least 15 times between now and November the 25th. But if you have done it, well done. If not, just let me know and we'll try and get something in, because that was a brilliant event as well. Really enjoyed that. Hang out with Brian. You will get Tron in a few weeks. Yeah, exactly. He's selling them off cheap at the top of the mountain. You have to get to the top of the mountain to meet him. No worries, Martin. Yeah, strike me all down. Have a sip of vino. It's like I'm drinking on my own here. Cheers, Kev. Kev just knows I get more entertaining with alcohol. So. John Grasso, yeah, it took 3 years to get his Tron bike. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's for whatever advantage it gives you, every other average Zwifter has worked hard, and it becomes a real point of pride. Some of the posts of celebrations when people knowing how hard they've had to work to get that Tron bike, it shows the value to them, even as a meaningless digital item. The value of it is there in the effort that you put into it. So, again, I have a slight personal angle that I'm coming at. There's nothing to do with the person in question. I have no issues with him at all. But I have experiences with who I think are others involved, and their sort of ethical stance is kind of consistent with what I'm seeing here. And that's it. I'm not saying any more because you're drawing me in on something I could rant for hours about, and I'm not doing it. Yeah, but yeah, it takes a long time. 3 years. That is a long time. It took me, I think, a month. No, it probably took me 3 years as well. How's Pookie? Oh, Pookie. I've got to go and see him, but I've been dealing with sorting the league out for you lot. But my daughter, who's 15, she took the photo and showed all her school friends, and she's desperate for me to take a little trip to Maidstone to pay Pookie a visit. So I will definitely do that. And I think it was Peter Wilson that mentioned that would be a great idea for a sort of localish group ride. I know Sean's not too far away, and there are others that live in this neck of the woods. It'd be great. I mean, I'm not sure how the Donkey Sanctuary would feel, but we could arrange a WKG Meet Pookie group ride and all cycle down there to take him for a walk and give him some high fibre breakfast or whatever it was he eats. But I think he's doing well, thank you, my friend. Quite possibly the most touching gift I've ever received in my life from anybody. I actually mean that. I've taken a serious interest in the welfare of goats since all this came about. Thank you, Darren and Peter. They shouldn't be such a prominent part of my life, but somehow they are. Snarefali, my guess is that a lot of the C riders will be promoted to B group this season. I totally agree. There are some names which, as I mentioned, Paul Trilk, just totally obvious. Paul, get out of here. Reigning champion. In actual fact, let's have a look. So you were in the C's, and look at that. You did a time quick enough to get you 12th in a very busy B category and 10.5 points. So that's testament to the way the results team have worked in this first round. Peter, Jamie, although Jamie was away, so me, I'm going to take the credit for Jamie this week. Percy and John in working out exactly where everybody should fit and which times were considered to be, you're in the wrong group. This isn't a punishment, but seriously, you're going to do well there. Let's move you, kind of thing. And I think they did a perfect job with everybody. So thank you again, guys. I can't say it enough. Yeah, I completely agree. There will definitely be some promotions quite early on. I wouldn't be at all surprised if, looking at these first few rounds, so we've got obviously a longer one. I would imagine most people are going to be around their category for stage 2. Mini crit, everyone blows it out, but I have to disregard that. Other than on the same basis as we did the time trial, if we have another performance that is just leagues ahead of where they should be, we'll need to take an individual view on that. Another 55 dust in the wind one. I can't remember the course on that, but looking at it, 55k with 585 metres of climbing. Again, these are prime sort of strike areas because these are the courses and the routes that should fit exactly within your category as far as I'm concerned. So if I was to get more than 3.2, if I get more than 2.2 in dust in the wind, I'll be amazed. But if I got more than 3.2, that is guaranteed strike because it's, like I say, that's a mixture of everything over a long distance. There's no excuse for breaking your category limits in that kind of race. 1:21.42, your PB on the big loop. Oh, well done. How did you find that? The big loop. Maybe. Is that on the? Thanks for looking that up, Gordon. Was that on the actual Zwift Insider one? Because that's the one I couldn't find any times for. I actually scrolled back through some of my old videos to check. I'd definitely done that course, and I was sure I had. Right, 121. Let me write this down. 1:21:42. Right, I can compare that to some of you guys now. So that's going to be a nice long day in the saddle. Although I am actually looking forward to it. I said it in one of the comments. I can't remember who put it there. Might be Ian Elston. Basically commented that they loved that last race so much they were happy to go and do it again. And I genuinely felt like that. I even said it to my wife. I think after feeling initially hideous, didn't take long before I settled down and thought, you know what, I am so buzzing I could jump straight back on and go and do that. I've just seen about 125 comments that I've got to go through. Right. I'll try not to miss anyone or ignore anyone. I'm just going to throw my schedule out because that's just not going to happen. Paul Elliott Kowalczyk didn't have the Everest Challenge selected. He could have 2 by now. Is that right? You need to actually have the Everest Challenge set in order to achieve it. I honestly didn't know that. I thought it was just your cumulative meters climbed, however you were doing it. Oh man, that would be gutting. Absolutely gutting. Any WKG meetup planned for next year? Well, yes, definitely the NC 500. Not so much a meetup. It's just a small group of us that sort of got together and discussed that. There were a couple of other names who were definitely interested, and my sincere apologies for not developing it any further with you guys, but we've kind of it's been on the back burner with us anyway. But Spencer White, I know, was interested. Paul Sharp was interested, and a few other guys. We had narrowed that down to the 20th of June, I think, being the date that suited everybody that was already involved. If that date suits you guys as well, give me a shout. This really isn't me trying to be sort of exclusive and not bring it up with anybody else. As far as I'm concerned, the more the merrier, providing everybody can be accommodated. There's only these small sort of guest houses along the route, as far as I know. The option of taking tents and whatever is obviously always there, but it may be that we all end up having to make our own arrangements based roughly on the same distance and time sort of stop intervals, but kind of left to our own devices a little bit. But we'll certainly, that's one that's happening. The Brands Hatch 24-hour, 100%. That's got to happen. And going back to my notebook again, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 22 names written down of people that have said they were 100% up for doing a team. So we could have quite a few teams and just totally dominate the Revolve 24-hour, just paint the whole thing orange. But I'd love to do some others. I want to do, I've said this loads of times, I really want to go to Norway, and that's not just because of who's asking the question. There are Norway and Iceland. Iceland from a gravel bike side of things, but Norway really appealing to me, and I would love to set something up. It was brilliant to see Joe Harvey and Rich Siegler meet up over on the other side of the pond. So things like that happening in different corners of the globe is amazing. Obviously, Sean and Peter met up this weekend. I mean, that's really rude because they're just down the road from me and I didn't even get a phone call. But that aside, great to see that you guys have come together without needing my involvement, which is brilliant. But that's really good to see. Obviously, there was Joel Walker, Paul McLaren, Carlos Valadares, all met up in Luxembourg, I think it was. Just fantastic. So I'd love for those things to happen. I'm more than happy to arrange ones or help with arranging ones that I can't personally be involved with also. So yeah, you guys just take it on yourselves, but I would definitely want to get some others. Speaking of Spencer White, again, we were going to try and do, he mentioned doing I think he's relatively local to me, so doing a sort of off-road gravel meetup with, again, anyone else that's sort of within the vicinity. So that would be brilliant to do. But yeah, I will definitely, I've got quite a few ideas knocking around that I'll try and filter out the ones that aren't stupid and then come back to you. The 20 races will be finished before the end of this. Is there a way of blocking people? Right. Turn off, Kev. Go to bed, you old man. Right. Mark Deal, can I move up to A? More points available. Yeah, man, everybody's spotted that. Do you know what I'd like to do? I would love to work out some kind of category that combines A's and B's and C's and D's. If there was any way of doing that and it still be competitive and fun, I just think that would work so much better, because this has been a historic thing for us. If we look at our A category, if everybody turns up, that's what? 11 riders. So, bags of points. And I really hope that it doesn't whittle out so that the interest goes. B category is pretty big this year. C category is just, I mean, look, that's ridiculous. And D category is really big this year. So, I feel for you, A guys. I mean, I kind of feel for you. I'd like to be an A myself. Pardon me. But there's nothing I could do. I think there are other teams and other leagues and other setups that are much more specifically geared for the elite, higher end athlete. And that's not to belittle the abilities of you guys. It's just they tend to sort of magnate towards certain groups and certain teams, quite rightly, because they have some very professional sort of training methods and setups. And as professional as I am, I'm not quite at the sort of Olympic level which some of these guys are. So the A's tend to go somewhere else, but I'm very grateful for the A's we have. John, yes, you did. John Bythway, he did. He took me just before the line as well. I saw he was chasing me, and I tried to hold him off to no avail. But I didn't really pay him as much attention as I should have done, because I was distracted by the juggernaut that was Darren Smith flying up behind me. I'm going to give Darren his moment. Look at this. One race, 30 points with the win. Darren Rayfield as well. Good job, man. Everybody, but I'll go through them in a second. But no, Darren, I was particularly impressed, man. I think that was absolutely brilliant. But yes, John, that was good fun. Well, I say good fun. In hindsight, that was good fun trying to hold you off. I'll get you next time. Rock Yamsek, hey, can I still join in the league, or must I wait until next year? I would love to make exceptions. I've had this discussion a few times. You will have to wait till next time, my friend. That doesn't mean I don't want anyone joining the races. Doesn't mean you can't keep track of your own points or have personal sort of inter-league battles, which I know I'm definitely going to fall into, because I'm likely to pick up 1.5 points for every race I do this year. So I'm going to kind of concoct my own sort of mini league with the people around me, just for bragging rights. But yeah, it is my fault that so many people have missed the registration, because I didn't keep it private, but I didn't plaster it around everywhere. And the reason for not plastering it around everywhere was I didn't want it to be basically trolled by some groups that I suspected might troll it, because they did last year. So I kept the promotion of it pretty much within WKG, which is, in hindsight, is not very fair, because I want to encourage new riders. But it did mean quite a few people missed the whole registration process. The trouble is, a lot of people have since asked to join, and I can't accommodate everybody. And if I accommodate one, I'd have to accommodate everybody. I can't filter it out any other way. So I'm just going to have to say a blanket no to that. But always a compliment to have the interest. And I wish I could say yes to all of you, but it wouldn't be fair on me or the results team trying to sort all that out. Yeah, Jane is also interested. What's that? Is that in the are there any meetups planned? Do you know, I know you did the, is it called the 312 or something in Mallorca? I'm pretty sure Olaf Bonk's done that, and I'm pretty sure yourself, Nadia, and Jane did it as well, unless I'm getting my names mixed up. Something like that would be phenomenal as well. If we could actually go through a kind of arranged professional sort of cycle touring company, and just get an influx of WKGers to do something like that as well, that would be brilliant. But I mean, I really, there are so many in my mind that I want to do. It's just a matter of picking and choosing. But like I say, I would love to lend a helping hand if I can to anybody that wants to try and arrange one, even if it doesn't fit in with what I'm able to do. I know that's the appeal, is me being there, but couldn't be too. It'd still be all right. Maria said, we haven't got enough room for 2 treadmills. I was just trying to think of a way it might work with both of you on one treadmill. No, it doesn't, does it? Even with those little pods on your shoes that you get from Zwift. Would that work on one treadmill? I suppose not as a race. But anyway, it'd be an interesting experiment. And if you do try that, please live stream it. Kevin Wilshire, good to see you, dude. Wonder how UCI Zwift will deal with doping. Yeah, I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. Bloody hell! I mean, it's going to have to be treated in the same way as they treat the in real life racers. Surely, all the standard drug tests, equipment checks. I assume any UCI recognised competitions will have to be done on specific setups in a controlled environment. And to save Zwift any future problems, just give everybody the same bike. Just give them all a Tron or all a Buffalo bike or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. And send them on their merry way. I think that's the only mistake Zwift made. And it's probably just from being a bit too trusting. If they could envisage this kind of cheating going on, I'm sure they would have just sort of said, well, look, everybody have this bike. You all start on the same equipment. Done. Yeah, Darren Rayfield's in on the Pookie ride. Good stuff, man. Although I'm looking at your time, you might have to leave an hour after me so that we arrive roughly at the same time. You must be chomping at the bit, Brian. You getting shakes yet? Bro, yes. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, Brian. So you haven't done your 200th ride. Excellent. Can you wait until the 25th of November? No. Yes, but if not, brilliant. We'll sort something out. Very jiffy. I don't know. Kev Stevens, I'm glad I'm off on holiday for a week, or I'd be late for work on Monday at this rate. This isn't me cheersing you, Kev. This is me trying to carve the rage that is burning. Oh, look, the beauty of live streaming. My dog's going to start barking because my son's just come in. Kev, go and pour yourself a warm Ovaltine, put your slippers on, sit in your rocking chair, go to sleep. He loves it, really. Right, great, yes, Dan Rayfield in on the Pookie ride. The Tron is trying to go up every day. The Tron is... Oh, yeah, Brian, sorry. Yeah, I can imagine it's sort of trying to break its way out of your garage, Brian. Right, I'll put you out of your misery soon, I'm sure. Gordon Jackson, I think you forgot how to get there, Brian. Not been up the Alp in a while. I haven't done the Alp in a long time. Do you know, I have joined tomorrow's tap race. And I actually thought it was the Alp, but it's the Richmond UCI. But I have joined that with the intention of doing it. But I am supposed to be playing football as well. I'm trying to get out of football. So I might be there. I might get promoted to category E. Olaf, what are you talking about? You did really well, didn't you, Olaf? Did you? Let me have a look. Yeah, what are you talking about? 10.5 points on your first race. You're going to be in category C before long. Good to see you, by the way, dude. LeQ, let's do a tap tomorrow on the Alp, climbing Brian's 200. Yeah, as I said, I thought it'll be too late for me to change it. And I actually did think it was the Alp for some reason, and that would have been perfect. But yeah, it's going to be a bit too late to change that. But I'm going to try and do the tap tomorrow anyway. And then we'll just schedule something in. Even if it's not an official Zwift event, we can just obviously do the meetup function and have a ride up ourselves. Right, I'm getting some serious lag. You have 63 PB on that course. Zwift Power, look at your profile, then course. It's got all your PBs. I have 63. Up what? Meaning I've done the big loop 63 times? Surely not. I'm going to check it out anyway. Thank you, Gordon. Neil Clamp, any chance of getting more in real life WKG kits? Yes. The main reason I've hesitated is I was actually trying to look at someone other than Endura because I love the kits and I'm not going to backtrack on that. But I've had samples from some other kits which I'm going to say they're sort of 90% of the quality but at sort of 65% of the cost. And I would rather open it out to more people if I could by bringing the cost down providing we're not sacrificing quality too much. But yeah, definitely, I could do with some more myself. They're the only kits I wear, and I'm a stinky old monster, as you know, so I sweat a fair bit. So I think some of mine are coming towards the end of their life. Darren, I can just see out the corner of my eye saying, Christ, he does waffle. What do you expect? What was this ever going to be other than me sitting here just waffling? Right, that's it on kit. Right, I'm going to keep my answers really short. You miserable gits. Right. How many people are watching this, by the way? Am I just talking to myself? Yeah, 40 of you. See, if it's that bad, all 40 of you. Sling your hook. Right. Anyway, yes, so kits, yes. Like arm... You very nearly made me say a very bad word there, Mr. Stephen. How are we going to get to Norway in Sean's van? Jason, you're clearly not remembering how Sean drives. I think he could skim across the sea. Just take a good enough run up. We'll be there. That's a very good point. Sean is our official WKG meetup driver and incredibly grateful for it, dude. Which is why I'm going to give you my broken tax at the bargain price of nothing. Just come and get the monstrosity out of my house. Meetup in Mallorca in April. My hotel and flights are booked. Oh, nice. Oh, yes, I saw you put a post about going to Mallorca. Lovely. I won't be able to be there, but I wish I could, because why won't I be there in April? What's going on in April? Maybe I've just made that up, actually. I thought I had something in April. Oh, maybe I'll meet you there. Ferry from Newcastle to where? To Norway, I assume. Kev, oh yeah, that's the arm warmers comment. Thank you, Kev. What week are you going, Blair? April. Don't tell him, Blair. Don't tell him. Last time I was in Mallorca, he managed to be like an hour away from me for the whole week. I could hear him from my pool. Ruined my holiday. Oh, Blair, you've gone and done it. You've told him. 11th to 19th. He will be there. Practically lives there. You have to stay on the right side of the road. Meaning the right or the correct? Local club with 23 going a week later. Oh, right, okay. Thanks for the invite, Kev. Mallorca is awesome. I've only ever been there on a holiday and so wished I was able to ride a bike when I was there. It looked incredible. And I was just in like a resort, so I didn't even get to explore the mountains or anything. But yeah, it looked good. Would be amazing to do Zalaris Lofoten Insomnia. Ah, I think you've mentioned this before. Yeah, this is this ridiculous night race. Is it a gravel race? I can't remember if you answered that in the question, but yeah, that looks horrendous. In fact, I think I wrote that on my official bucket list. Olaf, where will you stay? Blair, did you speak to Cycle Shuttle? Olaf Bonk, Haposa Palenza. That's where they're staying. Right, there you go, Kev. You've got the dates and the resort. Blair. What have you done? No, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to ignore these, but obviously this is just a sort of conversation you guys are having amongst yourselves. Search for blah. Should have people pay to get into league now and give the money to another adopted goat? It's a good idea. Good idea. If people paid, right, if people had paid £1 just to be accepted into the league Strava group, of the people I haven't accepted, I might have that kicker bike. Or at least a very nice new pair of shoes. Ken and Ali will look after you. Don't know who they are, but sounds good. And meet up at the velodrome. A velodrome. Yeah. Do you know what? I was tempted to go to. There was a cyclocross race at Herne Hill Velodrome today. It's a little local series, and I wanted to go to one that was really close to me last week and couldn't because I was decorating my daughter's bathroom. Wanted to go today and actually don't have an excuse why I didn't. Just stuff. But yeah, a velodrome would be really. I've never done it, but that would be good fun. Think it's someone else's turn to bring the support vehicle. Yeah, you're probably right, Sean. I will. I'll polish Dobby off. Dobby just got through its MOT, by the way, so he's good for another year. I did have to do a little bit of jiggery pokey with one of the windscreen wipers, but yeah, I'll get it wrapped in WKG colours. We'll load Dobby up. Off we go. Dragon Ride in Wales. Yes, Stuart, absolutely right. That's another one that's on my bucket list. Mike Mitchell, Mr. Tech Talk. Lunchtime Tech Talk. Good to see you, my man. I wish we could link up some kind of microphone so that Chad could do a creative intro to these live streams. It'd be brilliant. We don't want to go in your mind. We'd get lost. Keep drinking. I think he means in my car. Kev, have you ever said anything nice to me? Other than those lovey-dovey private messages you send. Publicly, have you ever said anything nice to me? Seriously. And you're not even part of our fucking team. Martin Bjorkfit, good to see you, man. What is interesting is they have given the trim bike to other pro riders that didn't own it. The Tron bike. Yeah, that's right. There are two really good arguments on both sides of this. And I agree with both of them. But the overriding one is they knew it was wrong and did it. Regardless of what the advantages may or may not have been, they knew it was wrong. They knew the effort involved in getting it. It's not just something you just sort of... I mean, I wouldn't know how to do it personally, but obviously these guys obviously knew how to set up Ant Plus bots. One in... I remember the locations. The only one that stood out for me was there was one in Denmark. And they did it. It's the fact that they went to the effort to do it, knowing it was not right. And the rider involves apology, however genuine, the fact that he's made an apology and acknowledged that he knew it was wrong, there needs to be a punishment. But, yeah, I mean, it's a silly thing that to have been able to happen in the first place. Like I say, just give everybody the same thing. Mouse... Mouse behind you. If he's anywhere, he's down there under this wardrobe. Noisy little bugger. 63 different routes. Oh, okay. So I've not done that route 63 times. I've got 63 recorded personal bests. Thank you, Gordon. You are now my Zwift Power, my Strava PB guru, as well as the TTT guru. Good man. Marcus, I might have an option for you. Oh, okay. Brilliant. Yes, definitely interested. Do let me know. The other problem with Endura was... I mean, I'm one to talk, but their process is very slow. And I think it's actually because of the times, I'll give them credit, it's because of the times that I've ordered previously kind of coincided with them taking on big jobs for pro teams. Obviously, they kit out Movistar, or they certainly did. And I know they have slightly bigger fish to fry than WKG at that point in time. So there were inevitable delays. But yeah, I'd like to have a more affordable supplier, maybe that can do it a quicker turnaround, smaller numbers, almost on a, I wouldn't expect an order by order basis, but just something a little bit more manageable over a longer stretch of time. Mr. Crook, all the way from down under. Good to see you, man. Thomas just said comment. Yep, thank you. Will that be tomorrow? Will what be tomorrow? What's that? What? The mouse? No. The kit order? No. Not sure what you're talking about, Gordon. I will have a look. All right, Dave. He will cry when he sees your turbo. Yeah. He's referring to the tax vortex that I'm giving to Sean Lowe. Yeah. Although that tax vortex led me to believe I was about 40 watts more powerful than I was for a whole year or so. Brand new Velo in Stavanger being built now. Ah, a velodrome. Okay, cool. We'd love to do some riding there. Yeah, if I could combine an overseas trip and a velodrome meetup. Now you're talking. Mr. Petter Summerson, good to see you, dude. Discord for chatting would be easy for you. What, with the amount of chat? I assume that's what you mean. Discord I just don't get on with. I just can't do it. It's every time it will knock out my Zwift or it will interfere with something else I'm doing, so doesn't work. Love you too, buddy. Well, what is this? Percy, where have you been all day? This is like the talk of the internet. The new WKG live stream. What's this late night live waffling? I should turn this into one of those pay-per-view things. What were the old like Babe Station? I could set up one of those just for you guys. You could sit and do this for hours. Oh, hello, the wife's coming in. You can come in, you're slightly just out of shot.
What about if I walk over there?
Just try it.
No!
Hold on, guys. We're having a quick domestic break while Mrs. Marcus Neal tries to shuffle into bed out of view of the camera.
Can you see me?
No, not yet. Oh, see the duvet moving? As I was talking about Babe Station, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Late nights in the Neil house. Don't take your top off. I hope you're talking to me, Kev, and not the missus. Yes, Thomas, I finally caught up.
Now?
Can I see you? No, I can't. Wow.
What about now?
Yep, I can see you.
Oh.
Duck.
Now?
Yep.
Now?
Yeah.
What?
Right, guys, I probably won't be allowed to carry on unless I do this. There we go.
Yep.
If form's anything to go by, she'll be over on my side of the bed in a minute anyway. So, right. So I've caught up with I've caught up with the comments. My schedule that I'd very carefully planned. I don't even know if I want to talk about any of this now. Results. Well done. There you go. No. DCAT. Robert Mickelson. Ah, man, you're one. I was surprised to even see you in the Ds. You're going to be struck in no time. Absolutely sure of it. But some really good performances. I'm not. Do you want me to go through all of these? You'll know where you are. No, I'm not asking you. I will pick out. I mentioned these names before, but I'm going to pick out. I mean, Darren Smith. That was absolutely brilliant. Really, really good, and thoroughly deserved. Because I know how hard you've been working recently, and I've seen your progression in recent races. That was really good to see. And Mr. Jason Arblaster. Do you know the saddest thing about this? I got as many points as you this week. But I was stunned by how fast you were. And again, it wasn't a particular surprise. I say I was stunned. I was stunned by the speed, but not in that it came from you, because again, I've seen how well you've been going over recent races. So absolutely brilliant. Brian Roden, let's hope the mouse doesn't show. Yeah, bloody right. Dish out some warnings now. What, for riders? Okay. So those were the two real standout performances, other than obviously if we scroll down just a little bit, as you'll see, I'm just ahead of Neil Clamp, Andrew Lawrence, and Dwight Williams is right down there. So there we go. B category. No real huge surprises there. Wilts Ryder, great to see him, by the way. I know you don't follow the Facebook groups and all the rest of it, so I'm really glad you managed to pick up on the messages and get your registration in. Excellent to see you. John Bythway, the fact that you finished third makes me feel a bit better about the fact that I couldn't cling on to you climbing up to the top of the mountain. Really good performance. And again, Paul Trilk, I mean, that's brilliant to do that in the Bs, first race in the Bs. Superb performance. I hope it carries on in the next race for you. Yeah, Jason gutted to only get the 1.5 points. You've got to pace yourself. You've got to be smart about this, Jason. I knew. Didn't matter what I did. I was getting 1.5 points. Next race, I'm literally just going to pootle around at the back. What does Mrs. Marcus Neal think of Pookie? What do you think of Pookie?
Oh, he's lovely.
There you go. I don't know if you heard that, but the response was,
I love him.
oh, he's lovely. I love him.
Rude.
In exactly that voice.
That is so rude.
She actually does. I mean, if anyone was ever going to adopt me a goat, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say, Clampy, he did an amazing job. Pookie is absolutely gorgeous. If my bike change had been 25 seconds faster, I would have beaten Paul on the TT. Too bad my change was 5 seconds. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say it was like 45 seconds. How did you change a bike in 5 seconds? Christ. Is it definitely a mouse squeaking? Go and get oil, mate. Yeah, it could be my old decrepit hips and knee joints. No, definitely a mouse. It's my new e-tron bike. Why haven't you all got one yet? Yeah, well, I'm waiting for some of my other team members to sort me out with that one by whatever means necessary. Right, this has gone on a little bit longer than I was planning, I'll be honest. I'll give you that one, Kev. I've spoken about the next stage, so I now know my PB. 1:21.42, if anyone wants a time to aim for. Clearly that is a very competitive time and one to be proud of if you manage to beat it. Mountain bike and steering. I was going to talk about that. I haven't tried it yet, but what I was going to do was show you. This was part of my ingenious device. This was screwed to the top of my tax wheel chock thing, and then my tyre sat in there, and actually, in theory, and initially in practice, worked really well. The trouble is, it started just sort of sliding around and stuff, so I've taken it off. But my thoughts on the mountain bike thing, I think the triumph of the whole thing is actually the course, not the steering. And if they open that course up so that we can start doing some races on it, I think that could be brilliant fun. But I will give the steering a go and do a live, possibly live, more likely edited vlog to make me look faster. Kick a bike. I want one now. I'm going to go back on everything I said previously. I really want one. I mean, kickers are shite. Everybody knows kickers are shite. They give you false readings. They break. They're just rubbish. And that's the only bit that put me off. If this was an elite bike, possibly. But no, the idea that it's the convenience of it and having the options for the different types of gear changing and all that stuff, that does really appeal to me. So I'm going to backtrack on that. But as I said, I've gone on a bit longer than everybody can put up with. So we'll have another conversation about that another time. And my final thing was, congratulations to Mr. Martin Meadows on getting married this weekend. Seen your photos, look brilliant. Congratulations, dude. There you go. That's my well mapped out schedule done. Right, let's just quickly catch up on a couple of these things before I bid you all a good night and finish my vino. Someone's loving the Ask Mrs. WKG section of this stream. What's Mrs. WKG's favourite vlog? What's your favourite vlog of mine, darling? I know what she's going to say.
I haven't actually watched any.
That's exactly what I knew she'd say. She's never watched any of them. Do you know the only one she's watched? And that's just to get the viewing figures up. The one she was in. The What the F vlog. It was quite a popular vlog. And mainly because she watched it 700 times. As you can hear, she's one to laugh at her own jokes. Clearly your age. I've lost some stuff again. I don't know what you're on about. Oh, this is, yes, because I've outed Clampy as the adopter of Pookie. I hadn't done that publicly before, had I? No. And I think it's because I still wasn't 100% sure, but yeah, I know. And seriously, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I love him. I really do. I love him as much as my family. And plus assisted. Oh, what's that? The e-tron, yeah. Good night, Mrs. Mill. Same time next week. This is Mr. Paul Trilk, one of the nicest, politest team members you'll ever come across. He said, good night, Mrs. Neal. Same time next week.
Oh, yeah, sure.
She's usually well asleep by now.
I can't sleep with you waffling in the background.
Love the heckling by Mrs. MN. You're getting... I'm going to just stick her on next week. This is a joke. How dare you? I think that's because I just slagged off the kicker. There obviously is a backstory to that, Thomas. Don't worry about that. Kick a bike, no steering. Ah, that's a good point. Although, right, does anyone know? I have two inventions. I'm not going to waffle on about this. I'll be really quick. I genuinely have two inventions. One of them isn't really mine. It was a discussion I was having with Stuart Woodsell the other day. But does anybody know how you would go about contacting somebody to make prototypes of inventions specifically for bike parts? Now, this invention, sorry if I'm going to blow all the confidentiality of this, Stuart, but a stem with a spring-loaded hinge, and I'm thinking it needs to tip as well as turn. But basically, change your stem on your bike so it self-corrects. So it's the spring loading means you kind of lean and turn, and then it self-corrects. Your wheel doesn't need to turn anywhere. If your phone's mounted on your stem, you just need your stem to turn. Beautifully controlled steering, and one that could fit on the kicker bike would be useful. But yeah, that is a point. Marcus Neal, when is the next What the F coming? See? You're getting requests.
I don't think it's
Jesus
really
Christ.
cycling though, is it?
Do you know what? Purely coincidentally, Emma did actually say to me earlier, I want to get on Zwift, and she wants me to insist on it so that she can't back out.
Don't say that.
But you did say that, didn't you?
Yeah, but
don't make me look like a liar. Live
no, I did say that.
to,
But now
we
I have
brought,
to do it.
We're going live to 38 people. Yeah, you are going to have to do it.
Famous.
Right, there you go. I've said that now to all of you. She said to me, and if I say no, make me do it. So
It doesn't have to be filmed though.
no, there's no rule that says you have to be filmed, but she'll be filmed. Right. kick a bike, sell your crappy turbo, the treadmill, and the hip flexor with 100 pairs of socks and bingo in your kick a bike. It's not a bad idea. Marcus Neal, did you enter the CV Arcade World Cup? Oh, man. You're such a troublemaker, Darren Hunter. My Asiomas are 2 watts off my kick at 18. Oh my God, Thomas, don't take this personally. I was winding somebody up. I know. If Kev wasn't watching, and he's probably fallen asleep now, or his hearing aid's fallen out, so I can probably say this. I wish I had a kicker. There we go. I said it. When is the next one? Yep. Stuart Woodsell, evening from the Cumbrian Lakes. Stuart, perfect timing. Just talking about you, buddy, and your genius idea for... Well, the idea came from you because I know you loosen your stem, and that works perfectly for the steering. Absolutely brilliant. And that led to, obviously, the invention of the springy stem. The other invention I'm not going to mention because it genuinely is what I think could be a game changer in gravel biking. But on a serious note, anybody that knows how you get those things to companies or whatever, please let me know. Martin Meadows, what are you doing? Isn't this your wedding night? Why are you watching the live stream, you old romantic you? Congratulations, buddy. Great to see you. And the little... I'm not even reading into what Snorefeli's just written there about a little blue pill. Have you weighed yourself since eating 3 kilograms of Haribo? I didn't eat all of them. They have all gone. You'll be disgusted to hear, but I didn't eat all of them. My kids, you were very popular in my household, Mr. Hunter. Thank you again for those. And no, I haven't, because then I would know that I'm weight doping. At the moment, I'm accidentally weight doping. Good night, Kenneth. Great to have you here, dude. You have to get your own man cave so Mrs. MN can get her beauty sleep. Yeah. I think he's just called you ugly. Yeah, Snorefeli just called my wife ugly publicly on a vlog. Engineering is not your bag. Stick to the vlogs. How do you know? How do you know engineering is not my bag? That's so presumptuous. I'll tell you how I know I am a good engineer. I've been looking at that new Cannondale Topstone, and it's got a little hinge. So you've got the seat post, the chainstay, the seat stay, and the chainstay. The seat stay has a little hinge, a pivot point. My engineering tells me that just doesn't work. Why would it work? If it went that way, it would work, because the flex of that would force that to slide like that. But the flex of that, if that's fixed even on a pivot point, it's not going to move at all. There you go, late night physics with Marcus Neal. Let me file the patent fast. Yeah, good on you, Stuart. Get in there, dude. Come on, Mrs. Marcus will make an exception and get you in the league for the next round. No exceptions. She didn't fill out the form. She's shown no real interest. She's just looking for the glory now that she knows we're this sort of worldwide phenomenon. So no. And there's a good chance she'll beat me purely by using that dangerous aura that she has that seems to cut off all my AMP Plus sensors. Right. I am coming to the end. It's just you lot keep me talking. Bingo. Is that where you've been? Not my fault you're taking ages to scroll through the comments. I'm actually scrolling quite quick, but there's serious lag. When are you doing... when are you doing the BMX challenge? I'm starting to sweat now, look, because I'm getting nervous about these questions. When are you doing the BMX challenge? Zune. Neo bike looks good. It does, but I think it's the combination of having the thingy, the climb, the adjustable pedal heights, the gear settings, so I can mimic my eTap or whatever I use. I think that's what really appeals to me with the Kicker one. The extra £1,000 on top of the price of the Neo one, not quite so appealing. Dragon's Den, yeah, I get nervous on camera. I don't think I could do that. Kickstarter, that's a good shout, but I think I need to actually have somebody make the prototype. That's more what I'm thinking of. This isn't for the Stuart idea. I'll leave Stuart to that. I'm not going to steal that one, Stuart, although I think it's a freaking amazing idea. for my idea, I specifically need to make a prototype of it for cheap, like for the price of, I don't know, 3 pairs of WKG socks. So I can take to a manufacturer or whatever. Please just say goodnight. Kev, go to bed. Go to bed. It's a school night. We can keep him talking all night. I'm just going to cut the stream. I've probably used up all of my allowable 4G anyway. It's like watching Big Bang. Yeah, it is. I am the Sheldon Cooper of WKG. Sheldon on stream. Hey, I beat you to it, Thomas. With Amy in the back. Oh, he really does think, oh, my stream's just gone. Am I still streaming? I think I've actually reached the limit. Right, if anyone can hear me, I'm stopping now anyway. Thank you all very much for joining. See you next week.
Did I make it go off again?
You might have done.